right, we are out shooting today. We're out camping, gonna get some shots in. We're shooting to the top of this hill, right across the creek and up the hill. We're at 51 yards right now. There are flies everywhere. It's getting to be about 100 degrees out, so it's getting kind of hot. But just gonna get some arrows in. So I didn't set the GoPro up there yet, but I'll set it as I go up there. As I was setting this target up there, walked across the creek. I was halfway up the hill and got stung by a bee right on the calf. That was freaking annoying. So that hurt pretty good for a couple minutes. And now every time I use my calf and flex it, stings a little bit. It's been a long time since I've got stung by a bee. Okay. I don't perceive I'm going to be holding pretty steady today. Just kind of have that feeling. But we're just going to see how well it goes. Get some shots in. Felt like a decent shot there. I've been going back and forth on whether I want to pull back level and then adjust and move my torso up or down to where I'm shooting. There's some loud wings back there. You think that was something bursting through the woods, or you think that was some wings? No? Sounded like an elk. That's what I first thought it was, and then I thought it was some birds flapping. Yeah. It was probably something crashing through the woods. ain't no flap. We need to mic you up. We need to put a mic on you. So anyways, what was I? Okay, so I've been going back and forth on pulling straight back at level and then adjusting my torso either up or down. I was actually getting a little more consistency and like ease of pulling through my shot process, aiming just right at it and pulling back. I know that's kind of not the typical recommendation from people. I've been finding at not extreme, just extreme up and down, that has been working better for me. A little bit. I'm going back and forth on it. Yeah, I still hear something walking around back there. Go investigate. God dang it. It's freaking bees. That really tested my patience there. Freaking fly right on my arm the whole time. Oh, it's big bumblebee. That's what it is. It keeps landing on my leg. This looks like the same bumblebee from earlier at the fire. This thing's big. That was not the bee that stung me, though. At least I don't think so. I felt like we were on a pretty good basis earlier. That's the old wives' tale. Is that true? Where bumblebees die right after they sting? We're going to quote her on her bee anatomy. When they sting you, it tears out their internal organs with their stinger. End quote. I felt pretty steady right there. That was a solid shot. Jesus. That was a huge bumblebee just crawling up my leg. End one, 4 arrows. Let's check it out and we'll set up the GoPro as well. Okay, not a terrible grouping there. I almost get my picture on it. Granted, it's only 50 yards, but with the elevation up and just first round, no practice, and flies and bees all over me, getting bee stung, not terrible. You lost your branch, huh? Michelle Branch? Sounds familiar. Yeah, you better get your branched chain amino acids. Better get them in. Losing your branch. First world camping problems. All right, so we hit a little bit to the right. So we are going to give it We're going to give it 5 turns just to see how that hits. And it hits slightly high. So we're just going to give it half a yard. Some of that could have definitely just been me, how I'm shooting. But since it was pretty consistent, I'm just going to make the changes and see how it goes. All right, let's go for this. Round 2. Now we got a picture up there for you. Let's send it. There I am pulling level and adjusting. It's almost like I should not find my peak perfectly, just get it kind of somewhat, then get it up on the target, and then get the bubble level, get the peep eclipsed perfectly, and then start executing my shot. And that's something that's good to practice with angles. This will probably be one of my last times shooting with my summer target set up, at least my arrows. So next week I'll be cranking my poundage back up to 70, and I'll be using my heavier arrows for hunting. So we'll be throwing the other sight tape on, dialing that in, making sure my pin gaps are good, and preparing for the fall hunting season. So it's coming up real quick. I kind of already wanted to have this adjusted beginning of July, but it's just been a busy few weeks, so haven't had a chance to do it. But I think a month should be plenty of time to get everything dialed in. That one felt a little low. Felt like it just kind of broke low. Let's get 6 arrows in on this end. That one felt a little right. Sounded like I clipped next to another arrow though. That one was bouncing all over the place, pretty much all over the square. All right, N2. Let's go check it out, grab those arrows. That's a good group right there, especially after that adjustment. Brought it down, brought it over. Really happy with that. Obviously two stragglers. Slip sliding around in my Crocs. Slip sliding back and forth. Makes every step feels like 2 steps. We had a good grouping up there. Three arrows, pretty well close to the circle. This might be all the way. Might have to swap. I gotta swap holes on this thing and readjust it. So as I was grabbing my arrows, I saw a little snaky snake up there slithering around. I think Draco Malfoy jumped out of the bushes and ran away with his crony Death Eater friends too. Chasing a unicorn here in the Forbidden Forest. Hanging out with centaurs this weekend. A little black butterfly buzzing around here. Yeah, he is in and out of the frame. That is pretty cool. We got some elk tracks around here through the stream. Pretty much where I got my target set up at is a game trail going right through the creek and up the bank. I don't know at all where these are hitting by looking at that. Just letting the pin just float around that whole circle, and I'm just not even worrying about where it's breaking. I think that's the best mindset when I'm in that. Just looking at the spot I want to hit and just pulling it through. Phone was overheating, so I took a little break, threw it in the cooler. Yeah, that end was a little spaced out. That shot felt really good. Felt like I pulled it through right in the middle. Whether it landed in the middle or not, I'm not sure. Actually, let's take a look and see. Actually, that one hit high. It's kind of odd sometimes. Shot feels just really good, but it actually hits a little high or a little off compared to some shots that don't feel the best, but hit on. So that one I didn't pull level and go up. I just pulled it right on the target. Huh. I don't know what's going on right now. I shot super high on both of those. My sight's still set at 50 and a half. That was a much better shot. That shot actually felt like it hit where I felt like it was breaking at. So also gotta just remember that it is hitting a little bit to the right. What I could do is start aiming at that left small dot if I want to try to hit it in the circle. But I think I'm just gonna aim right on. We're just gonna see where the grouping hits. That was a little high and left as well. Not as bad as the first two though. We got the Sasquatch back there gathering wood. That felt like it broke just a tad low. Looks like there's a bee right on the bottom camera lens, and I don't know if that's the camera lens you're looking through right now or not. It's hilarious. I guess we'll find out if you guys are getting a good picture of that bee. That one hit a little low to the right. That's exactly where I thought it broke. Group is widening up a little bit, but that end looked like a shotgun with that grouping. Not great, but is what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna keep working on just pulling back at the target and going through my shot process in that way instead of pulling back level and then adjusting to it. I'm just gonna see how that works out. I think the benefit is that I get through my shot process quicker instead of pulling, then adjusting, then make sure everything's on, then pulling through. I can just pull back to on target, make sure I'm bending at my torso, bracing my core, and then I'm already on the target and just start executing. So I'm gonna mess around with a little bit with that on this last end. And then yeah, we're gonna call it after this. That was floating around, but seemed like the pin was staying around the circle. It might have broke a little low. It felt like it broke to the right of the circle. Man, these flies are just driving me crazy. It felt like a pretty steady shot right on. Felt like it maybe released a little bit to the left. Whew. That felt like a good shot. That felt steady, broke pretty close to the center. I should have let down on that one. My mind was wandering. I was thinking about other things. One thing that's been nice is I've definitely increased my shooting endurance. I can shoot 6 arrows now without losing it, usually without losing my arm, compared to back when I used to shoot 3 to 4 arrows before starting to get tired. I think a lot of that is just doing more blank bailing over the last 6 months, just keeping it consistent, shooting every day, shooting at least 3, 4, 5 times a week, even if it's just a couple ends a day, helps a lot. And then doing a lot of static holds. But all right, so thanks for coming along. Quick range day while we're out camping. 100 degrees, time to go cool off a little bit. Check you guys later.